The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Around Our Area continues now on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Your reader for this hour is Sally Herzog. We go to our first paper, the Southtowns Bee, and this is the West Seneca, Orchard Park, and East Aurora newspapers. And it's the Thursday, July 23rd, 2026 edition. Go to our first article. Republicans endorse Brzezinski for town board seat. This is by Eric Kepler. The West Seneca Republican Committee has tapped John Brzezinski as its candidate for the open seat on the West Seneca Town Board in the November election. Brzezinski will run against Democrat Jeff Quinn for a town board seat that was originally vacated by Jeff Pekarik in April, and then again by Mark Pryor earlier this month. There's 1 year left on the term, so the seat will be up for election again in 2027. The West Seneca resident for more than 50 years, Brzezinski recently retired after a 45-year career with the American Medical Response, or AMR, where he served as Regional EMS Risk and Safety Manager, overseeing safety programs across 38 locations and more than 2,400 employees. Brzezinski has also spent 45 years serving as a volunteer firefighter, currently serves as EMS Director for District 1, and is a publicly elected Fire Commissioner for Winchester Volunteer Fire Company. Helping somebody else is the right thing to do. That's the way I was brought up, Brzezinski said. When I had the opportunity to enlist in the fire department, I was thrilled to take advantage of that, and it wound up being a career field for the rest of my life. That allowed me to see what emergency service people do. Brzezinski, 64, is also a former West Seneca Town Board member, having served on the Town Council from 2012 to 2014, and chaired both the Police and Public Safety Committee and the Safety and Accident Review Committee. My friends encouraged me to do it, Brzezinski said. I knew nobody in the political world, but my friends thought I would be a good candidate. During his previous stint on the town board, there was a regional push to trim the council to just 3 members from 5, so he served only 2 years and was defeated in his re-election bid for the reduced board. On the decision to run now, Brzezinski said it was mutual interest. He made a phone call to explore the possibility, and at the same time, some members of the political committee had reached out to him as well. The big thing is that I'm recently retired, so I'll have time to do what the job requires, Brzezinski said. I want to see that West Seneca maintains its affordability, both for taxpayers and in the business world. I want to make sure that West Seneca remains economically vibrant for the next generation. Well, it was a different time and a different board. Brzezinski said that his previous experience on the town board can only help him now. He would need to familiarize himself with the current issues facing the town board, he said, but he'd be able to hit the ground running if elected because he's seen the procedures before. The last time I ran, I walked the town and talked to a lot of people, Brzezinski said. We work for them, not the other way around. I strongly believe in managed government, not politics. I truly believe that. Those who help plan the battle don't battle the plan. Vranick is Orchard Park's newest lieutenant. This is by Eric Kepler. Alex P. Vranick was promoted to lieutenant in the Orchard Park Police Department at last week's meeting of the Orchard Park Town Board. Vranick joined the OPPD in June of 2021 as a lateral transfer from the New York State University Police, where he served since 2019. It's both a privilege and an honor to recognize an outstanding member of our department, Orchard Park Police Chief Brendan O'Hara said. From the day he arrived, he demonstrated the professionalism, work ethic, and leadership that have become the hallmark of his career. Throughout his time with our department, Alex has consistently sought opportunities to serve beyond the basic responsibilities of the job. In his time in Orchard Park, Rennick has served as a field training officer, general topics instructor, highway safety instructor, crisis intervention team member, and with the emergency response team. Within ERT, he has earned a reputation as an exceptional teacher whose skill, preparation, and calm decision-making have earned the trust and respect of his teammates. O'Hara said, "Those who have worked alongside Alex know him as someone who leads by example. He is calm under pressure, tactically sound, and unwavering in his commitment to doing what is right." To signify his new station, the collar brass of the police officer was removed from Rannick's uniform and replaced with the gold bars of lieutenant. Leadership is not defined by rank alone. It is earned through character, consistency, and the trust of those who serve beside, O'Hara said. Alex has earned that trust. His dedication to his department, his fellow officers, and the community make him exceptionally deserving of this promotion. Costco to open in October. Based on the most recent information provided by the town of Amherst, Costco is currently targeted at an October opening at 4230 Ridgely Road, according to Jessica O'Neill, Chief of Staff for the Office of Supervisor. According to various media outlets, the opening will take place in late October. Construction of the long-awaited Costco has taken longer than expected, with several revisions to its anticipated opening date. The retailer initially targeted a spring 2026 debut, but weather-related construction delays pushed that timeline to August. The location will be the first Costco in Western New York, bringing the membership-based warehouse retailers' bulk shopping model to the region. Costco is actively hiring for this location. It will include a 160,000 square foot warehouse and gas station. Nowicki resigns from Cheektowaga Town Board. This is by Michael Police. The Cheektowaga Democrat Committee issued a statement on Thursday, July 16th, announcing that Democratic Councilmember Stephen Nowicki will step down from the town board after questions arose about his residency. Resident Wally Carrero raised the issue at the Tuesday, July 14th town board meeting. "Are you going to be a man and submit your resignation to the board?" asked Carrero. Immediately after learning of the questions surrounding Councilmember Stephen Nowicki's residency, I contacted members of the Cheektowaga Democratic Committee to discuss options for resolving this issue in a manner that best serves our community, said Chair Lynn Dearmeyer in the committee statement. We agreed that unless Mr. Nowicki could commit to making his Cheektowaga home his primary residence, he should submit his resignation. Dearmeyer said that on the morning of July 16th, Nowicki informed her of his decision to resign, effective immediately. This is the right course of action as a matter of ethics, and it is the one that allows the voters of Cheektowaga to choose Mr. Nowicki's replacement, she said, as we turn to the task of naming a candidate for the fall election. I thank Mr. Nowicki for his service and wish him well in his future endeavors. Nowicki said that in mid-April, he and his wife bought a home in Buffalo as a future investment. Their plan, he said, was for his wife to live there while he finished his term at the Cheektowaga Town Board and continued living at his property in Cheektowaga. He said the mortgage lender and others involved in the process, as well as friends, political contacts, and people in the greater community, saw no issue with the arrangement. I told everyone I thought I could about this, and nobody saw any problems until Tuesday night, said Nowicki. I wasn't hiding it from anyone. I just also wasn't showboating it about it. It was my personal business. Nowicki said that one of the mortgage department or document pages, instead of it just being his wife that was on there, it was both of them that had to reside on there. I don't know if I was lied to in the process. I was misinformed, or I just didn't properly read the documents. But regardless, I signed the paperwork, and that's on me. As soon as he was informed of his lack of compliance, Nowicki said he realized there weren't any ways to make his town position and the new property he purchased whole. It's regrettable, and I wish that wouldn't have happened, said Nowicki. He added that he remained committed to his Cheektowaga property and had recently renewed his license, listing the Cheektowaga residence as his main property. Nowicki said he still plans to remain involved in local politics, but acknowledged the personal toll the council role had taken on him. I think I'm going to take a little time to reflect on myself and maybe become a better behind-the-scenes political actor, because it did take a tremendous toll on my personal life and my marriage, and honestly, my mental health, he said. He said he is sorry for the people he let down, and that if he had known purchasing the Buffalo property would come to this, he would have never done it. Supervisor Brian Nowak, also commented on Nowicki's decision. Nowicki's made a quick decision, decisive decision, after review of the situation by the Cheektowaga Democrats. We clean up our house. Cheektowaga Republican Committee Chair Don Filipski also responded, as if it wasn't bad enough that Councilman Stephen Nowicki was helping advance a socialist agenda in Cheektowaga. It now appears he was collecting a taxpayer-funded salary while his primary residence was in the city of Buffalo, she said. Filipski called the resignation a major embarrassment for Nowak and the board's Democratic majority. They failed to ensure that one of their own town members met the basic legal qualifications to serve, and the issue was only addressed after it became public, she said. Cheektowaga taxpayers deserve accountability, transparency, and elected officials who follow the law. They also deserve leaders who are focused on lowering taxes, supporting law enforcement, and protecting the quality of life in our community, instead of pushing the far-left policies that have failed elsewhere. NY Sons of Anvit's Award, Ron Major, Son of the Year. This is Paulina Bargnesi. Ron Major was not expecting to come home with the title of Son of the Year from the Sons of Anvit's Department of New York. My mouth dropped. I was like, why me? There are so many great leaders in the Sons that represent our post. But everyone said it's because of everything I do for Post 72, Major said. Ron Major is a 57-year-old West Seneca resident who works as a driver for Modern Disposal. He's been a part of the Sons for 4 years. The New York Sons of Anvets was formed in 1995 with just 3 squadrons in Messina, Ogdensburg, and East Islip. 30 years later, the Sons expanded to over 20 squadrons. Members of the Sons must be male descendants, grandsons, adopted sons, stepsons, fathers, husbands, widowers, or brothers of members of Anvets, and they must not have served in the U.S. military. Squadron 72 is where Buffalo Sons of Anvets unite. The captain, Charles Shunstrom, American Veterans Post 72, is the meeting ground for both Anvets and Sons of Anvets. The post is dedicated to creating a space where veterans feel welcome and appreciated. They host functions like Memorial Day breakfast to honor the fallen, annual picnics, raffles, and celebrating the U.S. Army's birthday. When it comes to setting up those events, Ron Major is always willing to lend a hand. I try to help as much as I can. Every time we have some kind of function, whether it be for Labor Day or Memorial Day, I help set up, decorate, get food, anything we need, Major said. Major decided to join the Sons after a friend involved with the organization informed him that he was eligible to join. His stepfather served in the Army and his nephew was a Marine. He said he was always respected veterans for serving their country, and being a part of the Sons has only increased his support. Major dedicates his time to offering volunteer work for veterans and the post. At the award ceremony, Major received a plaque that was decorated with the red, white, and blue of the American flag, thanking him for all of his efforts. Spindle items. This is by Eric Kepler. Torch time. The new time and date for the annual West Seneca League of the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics has been set for 6 p.m. Friday, September 11th. The event starts and ends behind the West Seneca Police Station at 1250 Union Road, West Seneca, with a post-race party to follow. The event was originally scheduled for May 23rd, but was washed out by heavy rain. This year features an updated 2.62-mile running course, while the 1-mile walking course remains unchanged. Runners, walkers, cyclists, and leashed 4-legged family members are all welcome to participate. The $25 registration fee includes a Torch Run t-shirt, $30 for the long sleeves. Every dollar goes towards supporting sports programming for Special Olympics athletes. For more information, visit https://www.specialolympics.ny.org/Western Region. Books on Wheels. The West Seneca Reading Rover is scheduled to put an appearance from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. This was on Wednesday, July 29th at the West Seneca Soccer Complex. And moving on, the band. The West Seneca Town Band will present an indoor concert band performance at 6:15 p.m. Saturday, July. This happened on Saturday, July 25th at 14 Holy Helpers, Roman Catholic Church. The band was led by Director Miles Kiffner, a music teacher at the Eden Central School District. The concert was free and featured a variety of musical selections, including popular film music, patriotic favorites, oldies, and exciting works from the concert band. The West Seneca Town Band is always looking for new members, welcoming musicians from the woodwind, brass, and percussion sections. For more information about the West Seneca Town Band and its upcoming performances, follow the band on Facebook and Instagram, or visit westsenecatownband.org. Shaker Adoption Event. The third annual Shakir Family Pet Adoption Event will take place on Saturday, August 29th at the Stables at Knox Farm State Park, moving to a larger venue to accommodate more rescue organizations, vendors, and community activities. Hosted by Khalil Shakir and the Shakir Family Foundation, the event was inspired by the family's rescue dog, Missy, adopted from the Nickel City Canine Rescue. Proceeds will benefit the Shakir Family Foundation and participating rescue organizations. Renaissance Street Fair set for August 8th. The village of Lancaster will transform into a medieval marketplace from noon until 6 p.m. Saturday, August 8th, as the 5th annual Lancaster Renaissance Street Fair, the only Renaissance fair in Erie County, invites attendees to don their finest Renaissance-themed attire for a day of costume fun. The free-to-browse event will feature live performances and roaming Renaissance entertainment throughout the village, along with a fire breather and live blacksmith demonstrations. A Queen's Parade and costume contest will give attendees a chance to show off their period dress, while fairies, magic, and children's activities round out the family-friendly programming. Entertainment highlights include Bill Baldwin's Magic Show, the Nickel City Swordsman, Buffalo aerial performances, the Ghostbusters, the Bewitched Buffalo fencing demonstrations will be presented by the Barony of the Reddick Hall, and Nickel City Canine Rescue will also be available. More than 50 Renaissance-themed vendors will line the streets, selling handcrafted goods and unique items, along with themed beverages from Lily Bell Meadery. Food and drinks will be available throughout the day. Organizers are encouraging attendees to come dressed for a day of medieval fun in the village of Lancaster. Get to know your neighbors. Sometimes we hear people who grew up in the 60s and 70s reminisce about the network of neighbors that was second nature at the time, a web of connections whereby you would get home and before a word was spoken, your parents would already know where you had been and with whom. People knew each other. They knew the comings and goings of their neighborhoods, and to some extent, they watched out for each other. Fast forward to the 90s, and it seemed like latchkey kids were all but extinct, and helicopter parenting had begun. Maybe our experiences were atypical of the generation as a whole, but instead of hopping on a bicycle or trekking a few blocks to a friend's house, kids either got a ride or stayed home, plopping down in the living room to watch TV or continue the latest PlayStation 1 game. Many young people of that era got used to being home when they weren't at school or participating in extracurricular activities, and the rapid development of technology only encouraged such behavior by offering social media as a pitfall substitute for real human interaction, though it can be a helpful tool when used and limited appropriately. Kids in each generation afterward experienced this to a greater extent as the world continued to get scarier and technology continued to find new ways of pulling people in. And we've reached a point where talking to your neighbor or picking up the phone seems unthinkable for the vast majority of people in some generations. Regardless of the reasons, the once vibrant tapestries of neighborly connections have gradually faded as decades pass, to the point that people can go for weeks, months, or even years without so much as speaking to anyone who lives nearby. This isn't true of everyone or every neighborhood, but there are significant segments of the population who couldn't pick their neighbors out on a lineup, let alone tell you their names or which house they live in. You don't have to be best friends with your neighbors, but knowing who they are is important. If you know the neighborhood and its people, then you're more likely to notice if something is amiss. Maybe you know that the family across the street is on vacation and has no pets, plants, or other need for a house sitter. Yet, there's an unfamiliar vehicle in their driveway. Maybe you know the widow next door is home, but she hasn't gone out for her mailbox for a few days. Or maybe someone going door to door just seems suspicious. And even if you don't trust your gut on its own, you ask the neighbors and find out that they felt the same bad vibes. It doesn't take much to have a casual rapport with your neighbors. just a simple hello when out for a walk or going to your mailbox. Even if you don't want to become friends, it's still helpful to know who's around you. County seeks artists to display works at the Buffalo Convention Center. Erie County will hold a new call for artists as part of the Arts in Public Places program, focusing on works to be installed exclusively in the Buffalo Convention Center. This opportunity is for artists residing in Erie County with selected projects receiving funding of up to $2,000 per piece. All works will be prominently displayed within the Buffalo Convention Center, providing high visibility and engagement with diverse audiences. The deadline to apply is noon on Monday, August 17th. For full details and to apply, visit www.erie.gov/publicart. This small works opportunity reflects our ongoing commitment to making art more accessible and supporting local artists, said Deputy County Executive Lisa M. Chimera. By bringing unique, original pieces into the Buffalo Convention Center, we continue to build a stronger, more vibrant Erie County, one artwork at a time. This project is administered by the Erie County Department of Environment and Planning and the Arts in Public Places Committee, which is dedicated to commissioning public art that reflects the diversity, creativity, and voices of Erie County residents. This is a unique opportunity to have your artwork featured in a central and high-traffic community space. The new home of the Buffalo Bills is a source of pride for Western New York. This is by Patrick Gallivan. After 3 years of construction, the new Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park is ready for prime time. The ribbon was cut on the home of the Buffalo Bills late last month, and the team will hold its first major event there in a couple of weeks. The state-of-the-art facility will help ensure the team stays in Buffalo for the next 30 years and has the potential to spur economic development in the area. The 60,108-seat stadium is the largest construction project in Western New York history, with about 6,000 workers logging 5 million hours during the building process. This stadium is in the heart of the 60th New York State Senate District, and therefore I participated in frequent tours of the site to monitor progress. It was remarkable to watch the building take shape, and I congratulate all the professional men and women involved for completing the project on schedule. This massive $2.1 billion public-private undertaking would not have been possible without substantial investments by New York State and Erie County. The taxpayer contribution totaled $850 million. Based on a comprehensive cost-benefit analysis, estimated income and sales tax revenue to be generated over the life of the stadium lease will more than offset the public investment. Obviously, the Bills have also made a significant investment in the new stadium, which demonstrates an important commitment to the Buffalo community. Given the taxpayers' support, I am happy the team is giving residents a chance to see the new stadium without having to buy a game ticket. The open practice is scheduled for August 18th, and the team says behind-the-scenes tours of the facility are coming soon. In the meantime, I encourage you to drive by the stadium, visit the family circle outside the main entrance, and take a picture with the giant bison sculptures. Whether you are a Bills fan or not, I think you will be impressed. Now that the new stadium is finished and has been turned over to the state, demolition of what was originally Rich Stadium continues in earnest. Many of us have fond memories of attending games or concerts there, and it is sad to see it go. But after 50 years, it's time for something new. I am also optimistic the new stadium will lead to additional development, making the area around the stadium a year-round attraction. While such development never materialized around the old stadium, things are different now. The Bills have expressed an interest in holding more events, making the stadium a destination even when a team is not playing. Likewise, officials in both Orchard Park and Hamburg are taking steps to attract private sector investment, including hotels and restaurants. The nearby 100-acre SUNY ECC South Campus holds enormous potential for future development. The Buffalo Bills have a long and proud history in Western New York, and the new Highmark Stadium ensures a bright future for the franchise, its fans, and the region. Let's hope the team can bring a Super Bowl trophy home soon. Go Bills! And before we move to our next paper, we'd like to tell you you're listening to Around Our Area on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And we move on to the Sun, and this is the Friday, July 24th, 2026 edition. And we go to our first article. Alumni Park set to offer gateway to Highmark Stadium. This is by Chris Graham. The town of Hamburg has had a 3-acre park at the corner of Big Tree and Parker Roads, but now, in the first true step in development around new Highmark Stadium, the town has named the park Alumni Park, hoping it can be a year-round destination that showcases the history of Buffalo sports. The Hamburg Town Board officially named the park on July 13th, but were joined on July 16th by Buffalo Bills alumni and members of the Hamburg Vision Project Development Team to unveil the official Alumni Park sign and outline some of the future plans for the park. What is unique about this park, though it is its close proximity to the new Buffalo Bills Stadium, said Town Supervisor Elizabeth Farrell Lorenz about the park that has been dubbed the front porch of Buffalo sports. The first phase of reimagining the park will be the creation of an 800-foot Buffalo Legacy Trail. The trail will include engraved commemorative bricks that fans can purchase. A brick will cost $100, with fans having the opportunity to buy a second brick for $50 that they can have and display in their home. Individuals can purchase a brick at BuffaloLegacyTrail.com. The trail will run from the fence line on Big Tree Road to the overlook of the stadium and then loop to the middle of the park. The trail will also honor the players, coaches, teams, and moments that have shaped the city's long sports history. Ultimately, we want to build it out so fans can see the history of Buffalo sports play out before their eyes, said John Livesey, a member of the Hamburg Vision Committee. The park may also include a special sculpture, playground, or a turf flag football field. Farrell Lorenz said the committee has also discussed hosting town events at the park that are tied to a Buffalo Bills home game or Bills-related event. Livesey said that all the upgrades at the park will be privately funded, meaning no public money will be going into the park improvements. We look forward to building this park. It's a fan park, and it's got the most beautiful view of the stadium, Livesey said. We've got a lot of big visions for this park. Livesey said work on the park is expected to begin in a few weeks. The announcement of Alumni Park comes a few weeks before another major decision for the town surrounding development around the stadium. The town, on Monday, August 10th, is expected to create a Stadium Impact Area district, which encompasses the 100-acre SUNY Erie South Campus. The district and zoning changes would allow for mixed-use development, hotels, restaurants, entertainment-based development, retail development, athletic fields, and open space. Chris Kushel of Fisher Associates, the consulting firm that has been working with the town for the last 2 years on the district and potential zoning changes, previously said that as you get closer to the stadium, it makes the most sense to have retail and entertainment focused development. Farther to the west of the stadium, there would be space for athletic fields, different types of residential development, mixed-use development, and open space. There is also a secondary focus along McKinley Parkway up to the McKinley Mall that will be complementary to the revitalized area around the stadium. Once the Stadium Impact Area District is created and the zoning is passed, the supervisor said talks will continue with Erie County, which owns the SUNY Erie South Campus, on what the process looks like moving forward for the campus. SUNY Erie trustees have announced their intention is to sell the property. She said there will also be discussion about the type of developers the town wants to come in to develop the district. There's a spot here for everyone: small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses, large developers. There's room for everyone, the supervisor said. We just want to make sure all the pieces come together well. Much like Alumni Park, Farrell Lorenz has stressed that she wants the district to be self-sufficient, year-round destination for residents and visitors, not just something that is dependent on Bills games or stadium events to be viable. With the announcement of Alumni Park and the Stadium Impact Area District coming down the pike, Farrell Lorenz said it's fortunate that these plans are starting to come together, just as the Bills prepare for their inaugural season in the new stadium. People will pose the question, well, nothing happened the last 50 years. What makes you think something will happen now? Well, we would like to make sure that something does happen, and whatever does happen is something we can be proud of, whether it's this park or the Stadium Impact Area that we're proud of it, and it reflects well on the surrounding communities and the Western New York area as a whole, Farrell Lorenz said. Blaisdell officials considering 24-hour surveillance cameras. This is by Chris Gordon. Surveillance cameras are being considered by the Village of Blaisdell officials to help increase safety in the village. During the July 15th Blaisdell Village Board meeting, officials listened to a brief presentation from members of Spectrum Cable that could lead to 24-hour surveillance at a few locations, which include JFK Playground, Fireman's Field, and Blaisdell Village Hall. What this could do is serve as a deterrent to those who are looking to consider such acts of vandalism, and this would include the ability to set up sirens and lights to stop those who are considering breaking the law. The cameras would also be able to zoom closer to be able to try and catch anyone causing issues. Dennis Feldman, who leads the Village of Blaisdell Police Department, said the current system makes it harder to regulate who is watching the monitors. Our problem with that is who is monitoring it, Feldman said. The new system would allow certain people to be able to connect to the system to monitor it. And Feldman believes it should be a member of the police department and elected officials. Village Mayor Rob Hefner said a decision could be made as soon as the village's next meeting on Wednesday, August 19th. The board also rescheduled its meeting in September. The meeting was originally scheduled for 4:30 p.m. Wednesday, September 16th, but was moved to 4:30 p.m. Wednesday, September 23rd. Annual Patch and Fire Company boot drive may need to find a new location in 2027. This is by Chris Gordon. A boot drive held annually by the Patch and Fire Company on Boston State Road may need to find a new location in 2027, according to Boston Town Supervisor Jason Keating. Keating was responding to a comment by resident Richard Hawkins saying he disagreed with the supervisor over considering moving the annual fundraiser that is held for about 3 hours on the 4th of July. "We're not stopping traffic," said Hawkins, noting that they don't make vehicles stop. But he noted that it is the only fundraiser the fire company runs each year. He said volunteers don't want to walk through the crowds at the annual Independence Day celebration behind Boston Town Hall and interrupt people while they're celebrating. According to Hawkins, the fire company raised about $3,000, excuse me, which he noted is not a lot of money, as he estimated the cost of gear per firefighter is approximately $13,000. Keating said fundraising events like the boot drive require written notice to municipalities, especially in a case like this, where it would be on a county road. He also noted that there are potentially liability issues if something happens that could come down on the town. The supervisor told Hawkins he doesn't necessarily like it himself, but added he has to follow the letter of the law. Keating said they will discuss the subject down the line and try to work out a solution. "You need to get a permit. The law is the law," Keating said. "I support our first responders." Increase in water rates may be underway for Village of Angola residents. A deficit in the water balance may lead to an increase in water rates for the Village of Angola residents in 2027. Village Clerk Treasurer Nicole Lepard told the Angola Village Board that the year-end books for the 2025-26 budget saw the water fund close at a negative $40,000. Lepard noted that the village had to move money around to balance the books. "Right now, the water fund borrows from the general fund," Lepard said. As a result, she warned board members that they will need to start discussing how to solve the problem. "We need to raise the rates between that and finding the leaks," Lepard said. She said usually Erie County announces its rates in December and suggested to the board that they be prepared to decide on rates shortly after. Village of Angola Crew Chief Jack Krajak said crews would need to go hydrant to hydrant to find where the leaks are in order to help resolve the issues. In another matter, Trustee William Ludwig said the annual Classic Car Show in the village, held on July 11th, was a success. "The car show turned out great," Ludwig said. He noted this was despite less cars in attendance due to a competing show at Queen of Heaven's annual carnival in West Seneca. The board will hold its next meeting at 5:30 p.m. Monday, August 10th at the Angola Village Hall. Nominations now open for 2026 Ultimate Fairgoer. Excuse me. Erie County Fair is now accepting nominations for the 2026 Ultimate Fairgoer, an annual honor awarded to a champion of the fair spirit and tradition. Since its creation in 2005, the Ultimate Fairgoer title has been awarded to individuals who embody the heart and soul of the fair. Nomination forms are available now at ecfair.org/UFG and must be submitted by Wednesday, July 29th. This is over with. Each nomination must include a short essay explaining why the nominee stands out in 2026. So I'm sorry, this is past due. We'll move on. County announces $700,000 in summer primetime funding. The Erie County Department of Social Services Youth Bureau is helping to make summer fun safer, more active, and more fun for thousands of local children by investing $700,000 in 2026 summer primetime program. Operation Primetime provides for an adult-supervised environment for the school summer recess period, and helps local organizations offer summer program activities consisting of positive youth development, including academic support, mentoring, cultural enrichment, and structured activities that prevent delinquencies, increase socialization, and foster respect for authority. Operation Primetime is an annual investment in Erie County youth and helps to make summers better for children through various supervised activities with peers. The program is also good for parents, particularly working parents, who want to know that their children are safe, supervised, and staying busy during the summer break, said County Executive Mark Pollenkars. Helping children have a healthy, active, and supervised summer is a good investment all around. 80 community providers from across the county contacted with the Department of Social Services to provide Operation Primetime programming, with awards ranging from $2,500 to $10,000 to fund that programming. Organizations receiving $10,000 in primetime funding in the Southtowns included the Boys and Girls Club of Eden and the Village of Hamburg. The Youth Bureau distributed a request for proposal to interested parties for this program, and the Youth Board panel recommendations were utilized to determine contract award amounts. Georgia Reserves brings premium cigars to Jay's Barbershop, other Southtowns locations. Being a customer at Jay's Barbershop since 2017, John Blumen, an officer in the Town of Hamburg Police Department, has shared his fair share of ideas with owner Jason Loop while sitting in the barber's chair. One of those ideas was to start Georgia Reserves, a premium cigar and nicotine company. The venture sees Loop and Blumen operating as business partners. Just a customer, barber relationship that turned into a partnership, Loop said. The name comes from the first two letters of John's name and the first two letters of Jason's name. Loop said Blumen is a big cigar guy, but noted that he has many customers at the barbershop that enjoy cigars. The company has a cigar humidor now placed inside Jay's Barbershop at 235 Buffalo Street in the Village of Hamburg. I've got a massive inventory of cigars. As far as I know, we're the only people in the area that sell cigars. We're kind of one-stop shop in the Hamburg area, Loop said. It's a quaint, charming thing to throw into a barbershop. They also have Georgia Reserve's vending machines set up at Johnson's Landing, 4040 Lakeshore Road in the town of Hamburg, and the Shore House Bar and Grill at 6558 Lakeshore Road in Derby. The machines will sell cigars and ZYNs. Loop said that the humidor, which was installed on July 8th, has seen sales every day to customers looking to enjoy a cigar. Our customers like it, Loop said. Customers are able to purchase a cigar in the barbershop, but cannot smoke inside. An interior sign for Georgia Reserves is expected to be added outside of Jay's Barbershop to further drive customers. Maybe they stroll in here and buy a cigar without even getting a haircut, Loop said. Nominations open for Project Play Western New York's Coaches Honor Roll Awards, Dick Gallagher Lifetime Service Award. Nominations are now open for Project Play Western New York's Coaches Honor Roll Awards and Dick Gallagher Lifetime Service Award. Individuals and organizations from Western New York are invited to nominate youth sports coaches for non-scholastic programs for the recognition. To be considered for a Coaches Honor Roll Award, coaches must receive separate nominations from 2 or more people. A fellow coach or youth organization leader must submit one of these nominations. Nominees must currently coach kids ages 13 and under in a non-scholastic setting on a volunteer basis. Submissions should describe how the nominee demonstrates the qualities of a great youth sports coach who is focused on youth development, promotes sportsmanship, and demonstrates leadership and integrity. Coaches honored will also exemplify the values of Project Play Western New York, which aims to provide a more inclusive and supportive environment for youth in the region. The Dick Gallagher Lifetime Service Award recognizes an individual who has used their platform as a youth sports coach or youth sports organization leader to support, recognize, and advocate for youth athletes both on and off the field for a decade or more. The award honors the legacy of Dick Gallagher, a youth sports advocate and Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame inductee, who also dedicated his professional life to helping young people struggling with addiction. Nominees for the Lifetime Service Award must currently coach or must have previously coached youth athletes 13 and under in a non-scholastic setting. To be considered, nominees must receive separate nominations from 3 or more people, with at least one nomination submitted by a fellow coach or youth sports organization leader. Nominations should be submitted online and are due by Monday, August 31st. The nomination forms for the Coaches Honor Roll and the Dick Gallagher Lifetime Service Award, as well as a full list of criteria and eligibility information, can be found at projectplay.org/thankyoucoach. Award winners will be announced in the fall and celebrated at Project Play Western New York's annual Thank You Coach event. Republican Langworthy and Schreier introduced bill to lower prescription drug costs by expanding access to biosimilars. Representatives Nick Langworthy and Kim Schreier have introduced the Expedited Access to Biosimilar Act, bipartisan legislation to modernize the Food and Drug Administration's biosimilar approval process, reduce unnecessary regulatory barriers, and help bring lower-cost prescription drugs to patients faster. Biologics are among the most advanced medicine available, treating serious conditions including cancer, arthritis, Crohn's disease, diabetes, and autoimmune disorders. Because of the research and development costs that are associated with these treatments, they are among the most expensive drugs on the market. However, once a patent on a biologic expires, manufacturers can develop a biosimilar, which the FDA must determine has no clinically meaningful difference from the original medicine in terms of safety or effectiveness. Biosimilars create competition in the marketplace and typically cost 15 to 35% less than their brand name counterparts. Although the FDA already requires extensive scientific evidence before approving a biosimilar, manufacturers are often expected to conduct additional clinical studies, even when existing evidence demonstrates the biosimilar is just as safe and effective as the original product. These studies can cost millions of dollars, delay competition, and keep lower-cost treatment options out of patients' hands. The Act eliminates unnecessary regulatory hurdles while preserving the FDA's authority to require additional clinical studies whenever they are scientifically warranted. Americans deserve access to safe, effective, and more affordable prescription drugs, and one of the best ways to lower costs is by encouraging competition, Langworthy said. Today, biosimilar manufacturers are often forced to complete duplicates clinical studies, even when the science already demonstrates their products are just as safe and effective as the original biologic. Our bipartisan bill cuts unnecessary red tape, provides greater regulatory certainty, and helps bring lower-cost treatment options to patients faster without compromising the FDA's rigorous safety standards. This is a common sense reform that will increase competition, expand patient choice, and help reduce prescription drug costs for families. The legislation would clarify that additional clinical studies are not automatically required before the FDA may approve a biosimilar when existing scientific evidence is sufficient. Preserve the FDA's authority to require additional clinical studies whenever they are necessary to ensure a biosimilar is safe and effective, and require the FDA to notify manufacturers early in the review process if additional clinical studies will be required, providing greater certainty and helping avoid unnecessary delays. Biosimilars represent a significant and growing proportion of the therapies cancer centers like Roswell Park use today in caring for our patients. We are proud to support this important legislation from Congressman Langworthy because it helps expand and accelerate access to a broader range of effective, appropriate cancer treatments for the people across our region, said Dr. Candace Johnson, President and CEO of the Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. You've been listening to Around Our Area, a weekly look at community newspapers from around Western New York. Your reader for this hour has been Sally Herzog. Thank you so much for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Ampol Eagle. At 4 o'clock, we have the Grand Island Niagara County Tribune Sentinel. And following that, 5 o'clock, we have the Lockport Union Sun and Journal. Stay with us for these readings and more throughout the day. The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability,